Hello YouTube. Today we are checking out a game called This Is Not Your House. It looks pretty creepy and weird. I think it's a pretty bite-sized experience, so excited to just play through this one and see what it's all about and see, you know, how creepy and weird this one might be. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Start the game. See what this one's all about. Roger always knew if he were attacked, it would happen on the walk from his car to his home. So he readied his house key before stepping out of the vehicle. Keeping it ready as he walked to the trunk of his car, he hangs his groceries from his wrists, keeping his fingers free to open the front door without fumbling. As Roger makes his way to the porch, his eyes start darting between the house's corners. He'd read about a young woman being ambushed in her driveway the week before. He tries to put it out of his mind by counting how many steps it takes him to reach the front door. But he can't stop listening for the sound of someone rushing toward him. There's a gentle breeze and the white noise of distant traffic. Roger assures himself he is right to remain vigilant. It only takes a split second for someone to get the drop on you. Steady with the key now. Smooth as fast. Roger's key slides in on the first try. It won't turn? Roger removes his key and inspects it. It's engraved with a large H. Definitely the correct key. H is for house. Roger tries the key again. Locked. Jammed. Broken, maybe? Roger takes a step away from the door and scans the area for suspicious persons. He sees no one. He releases his grasp on the key and leaves it in the lock. He drops his grocery bags on the porch. He tries furiously to turn, pull, and push on the key and door handle, every which way. Without success. Roger hears something inside. A shadow passes by the window. It looks like someone's silhouette through the curtain. Roger pounds on the door. Open up this instant! The police are en route! The door unlocks from the inside. Can I help you? You can start by getting out of my house. This house does not belong to you. Check the deed, lady. A deed is only a piece of paper. One that proves this house is my property. Personal property is a social construct. Those who inhabit a space own it. Oh, snap. This is the first choice, huh? Oh. I mean, I feel like she's squatting in our house and we have to take our house back. Yeah. I mean, that's the obvious choice, right? This is not her house. Or is this not my house? This is not your house is the name of the game. So maybe it's not my house. But I'm going to take the house back anyway, because that seems like the more interesting route here. Feels like let her have the house just ends the game. I have a rotisserie chicken cooling off out here. I'll be eating it in my dining room before it's room temp. I'm going back to the... I'm going back to the other voice. Okay, hold on. Okay. The homeowner attempts to shut the door on Roger. Roger swiftly jams his foot between the door and its frame. He presses his face into the gap his foot provides. I don't think you heard me. Roger shoulders the door wide open. The homeowner is knocked back into the kitchen. You forgot your chicken! I mean, let's not get distracted, right? Let's stand our ground. I'll get it when you're gone. Woo! Be sure not to leave too often, Roger. I have a habit of roosting in untended spaces. Roger hears the car start up right outside. He looks out the window to see what's going on. The homeowner waves from the driver's seat of his car and disappears down the road. It can't be! Roger whirls around. The homeowner is no longer in his kitchen. He proceeds to clear the house, room by room, until he's sure she's gone. Roger spent the next few days gathering up every trace of the homeowner's presence and passed it on to the authorities. Doilies, table runners, oiled drape runners, candles. It seemed like she'd lived there for years, leaving things in odd places only someone familiar with the space would. Took Roger an additional half day just to rearrange the furniture. Thankfully, she hadn't moved in her own. Then, there was nothing left for Roger to do, except his grocery shopping. He decided to have his groceries delivered by a boy from the neighborhood for a while. He didn't want to leave the house alone. He started to feel silly about it after a few weeks passed. So he placed a call to the station, following up on his vehicle's disappearance. The police explained they were unable to locate his missing car and had no leads. Roger bought a junker to handle his errands around town. He didn't notice the walk from his car to his house anymore. The only thing that worried him is whether or not he could turn his key when he got home. A shadow passes by the window. End credits. Oh, okay. End credits. Okay. Okay. Well, we're playing that again. Roger always knew if he were attacked, it would happen on the walk from his car to his home. So he readied his house key before stepping out of the vehicle, keeping it ready. Yep. So I guess we just let her have the home this time and see what happens. I mean, it's not our house, right? If the game title is correct. This is not our house. It's not Roger's house, maybe. Okay. Let's get to that first choice here. Oh, can I just... Do I just... Oh, there you go. Let her have the house. Keep the house. I'll take my car and head down to the station. Which car is that? The one I pulled up in. I didn't notice. The only one sitting in the driveway. But sir, that's my car. What in the hell? Roger turns just in time to see the car he calls his own, reversing into the street. He sees the homeowner wave to him from the driver's seat and disappear down the road. Here, let me help you with that. Roger tries to run after his car, but the homeowner grabs hold of his shirt. She slips it off with one deft sweep. Roger spins around, trying to grab hold of his button down. He feels goosebumps forming on his arms as his nipples harden. Give me my shirt back! No need for these either. The homeowner grabs the hem of Roger's pants and yanks backward, knocking Roger flat on his back. The homeowner quickly slides off his pants and the remaining articles on his person. Roger lies dazed with his head pounding from the collision with the porch. He can hear the sounds of rustling fabric and crinkling plastic bags. Roger wraps his arms around his head and groans. Please, not my chicken! The homeowner gathers Roger's things, glides into the house, and slams the door shut. Roger pulls himself to his feet. He cups his genitals in his hands and tries to keep warm. He shakes from the cold. Oh boy, okay. Well, we're naked now. Oh man, okay. Seek shelter, maybe? Find help. I'm gonna be naked running around trying to find help. That's gonna go badly. Break down the door. I mean, again, I'm naked, so I don't know how that's gonna go. Wait her out. I mean, if it's nighttime, it might get cold. Let's seek shelter this time. With no immediate means of retaking his house, Roger thinks it best to find somewhere to rest. He takes off into the woods in search of shelter from the elements. Roger finds a grove just before dark. At its center stands an immense hollow tree. Roger crawls inside and huddles against its bark for warmth. It protects him from the biting wind outside. As he settles into a comfortable position, his breathing slows and he drifts off to sleep. He wakes the next morning to terrible hunger pangs. He crawls out of the tree and onto the dewy forest floor. He scrounges around looking for food. He happens upon a large growth of mushrooms. Oh boy. Oh boy. We're gonna eat the mushrooms. Roger consumes the mushrooms with a desperate ferocity. And the music instantly gets more jamming. They have a bitter taste, but Roger's hunger allows him to chew through it. As his belly fills with the mushrooms, he starts to feel ill. His head begins to spin. His manner of thought shifts and becomes fluid. Roger sees the world around him as a part of him, or he as a part of it. A very small part. A mote. The homeowner was right, in part. Personal property is a construct, but habitation is not means of ownership. He did not own the immense tree anymore after sleeping in it than he did before knowing of it. The mote merely landed on the tree. In the morning, he came upon some mushrooms and began thinking of the world before itself. It surrendered itself to the soil, to the cool damp, to the network, forsaking hunger, forsaking words. Words like Roger and returning home. End credits. That's the ego death ending. Ego death, tripping balls ending. Okay. Okay. Now what do we do? Now, should we go take your house back that route again and see what other options we have there, I think we do that this time. Sheesh. Connecting to the network of the mushrooms, I feel like there's a whole other game about that. Yeah, The Last of Us. 2 games about that. Or maybe that's the show. That's more than the games. I don't know. Okay. We're taking the house back. Which we've already done this, so let's skip to the next choice. Okay, so we gotta get the chicken, right? The chicken may be the key to the game. Get the chicken. Roger turns around to collect his groceries. He sees someone analogous to the homeowner devouring his rotisserie chicken. So there are two of these people. Are they twins? Are they just like weird ghosts or something? I wonder if we'll find out. The homeowner behind Roger grabs a paring knife. The homeowner clamps a hand over Roger's mouth, shoves the blade into his back. A muffled gasp. The knife forces the air from Roger's lungs. He paws helplessly at the homeowner's arm. Roger's vision narrows, blurs. He tries to bite the homeowner and break free. Her hand remains firmly clamped over his mouth. He can taste the tang of her blood with an unexpected acidity. The homeowner gently lowers Roger to the floor. Roger tries to get up, grows weaker as blood pumps through his heart and out his back. The homeowner keeps him pinned to the floor, pressing down on his chest to strain his breathing. Roger grows tired and slips away into a calm and reassuring dark. The homeowner's analog grabs the grocery bags and carries them inside. It sets the bags on the floor and steals a glance at Roger. "We have plenty to eat tonight. There may even be enough to store in the freezer. We'll need to dress and quarter it to see how much there is. Now close the door. I won't tolerate a draft." The homeowner's analog grabs the door, throws it shut. The goings-on of the house safeguarded from the eyes of prying neighbors by a door and some drapes. End credits. Man, poor Roger is right. Poor Roger, man. I mean, the mushroom ending is the best one so far, right? Not even a question. So let's take the house back again. What other choices did we have? Does stand your ground just go right to the end? Hold on, let me see. We skip? Oh, it does. Okay. I do like the skip button, though. So take the house back. And if we get the chicken, that was the other ending, right? So that's it. We can't take the house back. It's not my house. It's not my house. That's just the reality of it. It's never going to be my house. Unless we can come back and do something else. So find help is probably going to be funny. So let's find help. That's probably a good one. Driven by the belief he cannot resolve the house theft on his own, Roger runs off to find help. Running down the road, he spots a police cruiser on patrol. Roger begins wildly flailing his arms and calling out for the vehicle to stop. The cruiser comes to a halt, and an officer steps out from the passenger side. Roger sprints towards him, shouting, attempting to explain his situation, and he is shot. The officer enters a defensive stance and draws his weapon on Roger. Roger freezes in place, thrusting his hands into the air. "Don't move! Hands! Let me see those hands! They're up! I'm cooperating!" "Suspect is uncooperative!" "I'm cooperating! What am I a suspect of?" "Turn around! I said turn around right now!" Roger complies. "Walk backward toward me!" Roger walks backward toward the officer. "Not so fast!" Roger stops in a lethal game of red light, green light. "Did I say stop?" Roger does not speak and he does not move. He does not want to alarm the officer. Come on, hurry up! Roger very slowly walks backwards toward the officer. I said slowly, not slow motion. Pick up the pace. Roger does not hasten his pace. He's terrified of doing something that could be seen as threatening. That's it. Sound of the officer's thudding footsteps draws near to Roger. Roger hears cuffs being readied behind him. He feels the cold metal press against his wrists. The officer thrusts Roger against the hood of his car. Roger can feel the cuffs tightening further, cutting off circulation. Please, officer, I'm cooperating. The officer yanks Roger off the hood and steers him with the chain of his cuffs. The metal digs into Roger's wrists as he fails to anticipate the officer's movements. The officer pushes Roger into the back seat, slams the door. The officer quickly climbs into the front seat and jumps on the radio with dispatch. Roger's naked body wriggles against the leather in the back seat as he attempts to sit up. The officer brings his fist down on the car's dash. Keep it down back there! A few tears stream down Roger's face in the dark. The tears make him feel ashamed, but he cannot suppress how angry and helpless he feels. Please! Someone has broken into my house! Look, we're passing by it right now. Just pull over! The old someone stole my house routine. Save it for the judge, junkie. I'm not a junkie. I'm a senior citizen, and I need help. You don't see many elderly junkies, huh? What are you talking about? The officers sit in total silence as they cruise toward the station. Roger sits back and tries not to exacerbate the situation further. So you're telling us that you went out shopping and returned home to find your locks were changed? That's right. Then I started pounding on the door and some strange woman answered. Strange? How? What do you mean? She stole my house. Right. But what is it that made her strange to you? How calm she was about it all. Acting like I was a perfect stranger and she belonged there. The officers glance at one another. So you found your locks changed and a strangely calm and comfortable woman at the door? Yes, but she was in my car as well. So she left your house? No, she was in the house and I turned around and I saw her driving away in my car at the same time. A pair of twins, maybe? That's what I said. That's what I said. They were her. In the car and the house all at once. So what happened to your clothes? She took them right there on the porch. When I turned to see the car taken off, she slipped my shirt off. Without you even asking? The officers snicker as they share a look. It's not funny, I was assaulted. Sir, if a woman came up to me with a smile and asked for my clothes, I wouldn't report her. She knocked me down and ripped off my pants. All right, sir. How much have you had to drink this evening? Not a drop. So you're telling me you tried to get into someone else's house in a confused state. Thought you saw two of the same person and wandered the streets naked. But you haven't had anything to drink? That's not what I said. That isn't how it happened. You've already given your statement. All I need to know is how much you were drinking. Oh no. Oh no. I mean, I guess we insist we're sober. Like, confess to drunkenness, they're just gonna book us and like, probably. I mean, we'll try both eventually, but let's insist we're sober. I was not drinking. That's true. It's true what I said, every word of it. Put a note that the subject is not cooperating and we haven't been able to positively identify him. My name is Roger Cormack. I've already told you that. Sir, you'll be transferred to a new facility in the morning. You can explain the situation to them. What kind of facility? The kind that has the resources necessary to help someone like you. Oh, dear God. Roger spent the remainder of his life being shuttled between state mental institutions. None were able to properly identify what ailed him. Without a diagnosis and treatment plan in place, they were unable to release him. He raved about the woman who stole his house and his car. The staff learned to tune out his ravings as they did with all the other patients. Content to consider his ramblings those of a madman. Unspecific nonsense that you could hear pressing your ear to any patient's cell door. End credits. All right. All right, Roger, what are we doing this time? So we've already established we cannot take the house back. So we're going to let her have the house. So we have done two things. We have sought shelter and we have found help. Both of these have another option available to us. Let's do seek shelter and then not eat the mushrooms. Let's see what happens then. Don't eat the mushrooms. Roger wasn't sure if the mushrooms were poisonous or not. He didn't want to risk dying for a single breakfast. He let them be. But the fact remained, he was hungry. He set out for the edge of the forest at a brisk pace, skulking through the tree line parallel to the roadway to hide his nakedness. As the forest thins, he ducks into alleys and hides behind garbage cans. He smells something on the breeze. It makes him salivate and clench his fists with an aggravated longing. Bright red. Something catches Roger's eye. A fire station. They might be able to help. Oh boy. We have another choice here. I wonder if the fire station is going to end up similar to how the police went. Let's do it. Reason compels Roger to stop at the fire station and seek assistance. He knocks on the front door. The man who answers seems unfazed by Roger's lack of dress. Sir, is it possible the station has some clothing it could lend me? Or some food to spare? Got plenty of both. Come on in. Roger is given a baggy t-shirt with a monogram of a defunct company on it, accompanied by some ill-fitting pants. He relaxes, knowing he will not be charged with indecent exposure. Terry is in charge of lunch for the station today. He's got a pot of chili going. Might not be appetizing first thing in the morning, but it's what we've got. I would appreciate some, thank you. Fireman nods and hurries back with a bowl of chili and a cold beer. Roger isn't normally one for beer, but it is dark and filling. So if you don't mind my asking, what's got you out in the street with your pecker hanging out? I went out for groceries yesterday. While I was out, some woman broke into my house and changed the locks. I couldn't get back in and had to spend the night in the woods. But why was your pecker out? You like shopping naked? No, the woman had an accomplice who broke into my car while I was trying to get into the house. I tried to stop her from taking the car, but the woman in the house jumped me from behind when I did. I took a bad blow to the head. She stripped me on the porch, and her pal took off with my car. The fireman scratches his beard. Why didn't you go to the police? It was freezing out and getting dark fast. I didn't know how to find the station. And she took my phone, so I just holed up for the night. Glad you made it. Awfully cold last night. Kinda makes it our slow season. I'm just glad I stumbled onto this place. The facade really stands out. You got any kind of documentation to prove you own that house? Of course. I have the deed in the safety deposit box, but I need my ID to get it. And that bitch took my pants with my wallet still in them. You think she's still in the house? or took off in the car with her pal. She had no intention of leaving, I can tell you that. That settles it then. I'll get the blues on the horn and get this sorted for you. The fireman lumbers over to a phone on the far wall. A wave of relief washes over Roger, knowing a civil servant is assisting him. Still, the fireman's reaction to Roger's story troubles him. He doesn't want the fireman thinking of him as a crazy old man. Worse still, Roger worries he is a crazy old man and just doesn't know it yet. Part of him hopes the woman is still in his house to prove to himself that what he remembers happening really happened. When police arrive at Roger's residence, they find the homeowner barricaded inside the upstairs bedroom. Raving that the house is hers, she's been there all her life, it's her childhood home. She demands the police get a warrant to search the premises. She's unable to provide personal ID or proof of residence. Bearing no legal claim to the property, she cannot refuse them entry. They're unable to locate Roger's wallet, believing the homeowner has destroyed it. Roger's social security card and birth certificate are recovered from the premises, which he uses to acquire the deed from his safety deposit box. Okay. With the proper paperwork secured and presented to the authorities, Roger is permitted entry to his home. The homeowner is taken into police custody. Roger spent the next several years checking in on the homeowner as she was transferred between a variety of state mental institutions. He eventually lost track of her in the system. He nearly forgot about her altogether until his car was recovered. It was unearthed at a site in Nevada where BlackRock was breaking ground on the construction of a new housing complex. Roger put the car out of his mind. He didn't allow himself to worry about the homeowner. He kept his shotgun at his bedside and slept easy. Yo! Not poor Roger for once. That was like, was that the good ending? Like, always trust the fireman, dude. You know? Good guy firefighter. Was that like the one good ending? I mean, the mushroom ending was still pretty good. Let's be honest. It had the best music. Okay, let her have the house. So we'll do the police, and we are drunk, I guess. We have been drinking. So we go find help. We end up in jail, and we say we are drunk. Roger hangs his head in his hands. You're right, officer. I've had a few too many tonight. I don't know what I'm saying. It's all right, old timer. Just be glad it's not dementia. I'm very grateful. I keep forgetting what voices I'm doing. Well, you can spend the night in the drunk tank and we'll release you in the morning. Thank you, officers. Roger spent the last few hours of the evening resting in his cell bench, on his cell bench. He was rigid and uncomfortable, but Roger had learned to deal with discomfort in the service. True to his word, the officer released Roger first thing in the morning. Roger received a pair of sweatpants from the lost and found to replace his jumpsuit. He had no phone or wallet and no idea what direction his house was in. He'd never been downtown and didn't know how to find his way out. He focused on finding shelter and food. He spent each day meeting his fundamental needs. Most passerby refused to look at him. The rest were too frightened by his appearance to speak with him. Everyone kept a safe distance from him. He faded into the crowds and entirely out of memory. What? What? Okay, Roger. Just... okay. I guess. Okay, let her have the house. Sure. All right. Now here's the last two. Last two routes that I know of. I feel like breaking down the door. I feel like neither of these are gonna work, right? I kind of want to see what happens if we wait her out. We're naked. We're outside. Let's wait her out. Roger was not one to bully others or be bullied himself. He stood resolutely on his porch, like any respectable citizen would. He spent the first few hours hollering and pounding on his own front door. As it grew late and cold, Roger began to lose feeling in his extremities. His pounding became limp and inconsistent. His hollers turned to hoarse whispers. He became warm and a bit drowsy. Roger reasoned it was best to get some rest and resume his valiant opposition in the morning. Morning did not come for Roger. Oh, well. He sat on the porch, curled up, and nestled his head against the front door. It was the comfiest and the sleepiest Roger had ever been. The homeowner discovered Roger at dawn and called the police. Cause of death was determined to be hypothermia. He was tagged as a John Doe and placed in a morgue to await cremation. Roger's final moments were warm, and he was not afraid. Okay, well. Okay, one more ending maybe? What it's looking like? Let her have the house. And now we break down the door. Roger is a strong man, but not strong enough to break a door down with his bare feet. So instead, he takes a swing at the door's window. He feels something warm and slippery pour down his arm as he fumbles with the deadbolt. Uh-oh. He manages to get a grip on the lock and slide it open. Roger opens the door and shuffles inside. He hears heavy footsteps from the floor above. The steps indicate the homeowner is headed for the stairs. Shit. Had she found his shotgun? Roger only had a moment to act. Ooh, okay. I think we... Let's arm ourselves first, and then we'll come back and do the other one. Roger darts to the knife block in the kitchen, a mere 15 feet away. He yanks out the butcher's knife and wheels around, heading for the stairs. A yellow flash and flecks of cinder. Roger lies dead, practically eviscerated by his own shotgun. Yeah, I mean, the homeowner calls the police to report the incident. What is left of the body is labeled a John Doe. It is cremated by the town according to protocol. The local paper released a story about the incident, labeling Roger an unidentified drifter, and the homeowner as a neighborhood hero. Some locals caught the story, recognized Roger from the area. A correction was printed, but it portrayed Roger as an unstable addict to account for his state of undress and violent behavior. Local officers used Roger as a cautionary tale at school assemblies to display the dangers associated with drug abuse. The homeowner was heralded throughout the state as an example of someone who defended themselves when police were nowhere in sight. She was paid handsomely to act as a keynote speaker for a variety of clubs and events over the next few years. End credits. Man, that's like the worst ending. Sheesh. Okay. One more? We have to let her have the house. Skip. Break down the door. Skip. And then we hide in ambush. Roger wasn't sure he could make it to the kitchen and back before the homeowner reached him. He pressed himself against the corner wall at the bottom of the staircase, hoping to remain out of sight. The homeowner's heavy footfall makes it easy to follow her movements. Roger sees the barrel of his shotgun slide through the entryway. He grabs hold of it and rushes around the corner. The homeowner falls back on the stairs. Roger yanks the gun away from her with his good hand. The homeowner stares at Roger and tries to sit up. Roger brings the butt of the shotgun down on her face. He presses down, grinding and twisting it into her. Her smile peeks out at him from around the gun's stock. She reaches for the trigger. Roger pulls the gun away and brings it down on her face. He does it again. And again. And again. Relentlessly fragmenting and distorting her features into a puddle. He was satisfied when he could no longer see her eyes. The police arrived shortly after. A neighbor called 20 minutes earlier due to the sound of breaking glass. Roger's defense team could not adequately explain the circumstances leading to him viciously beating an unarmed woman to death in his home. A woman police were never able to identify. Due to excessive facial and dental trauma, missing fingerprints, and a lack of documentation. The jury found Roger Cormack guilty of first-degree homicide. Prosecution convinced jurors that Roger had kidnapped the woman and killed her when she attempted to escape his home. Roger now inhabits a cell on death row, awaiting lethal injection. Dang. All right. I like this game a lot. It is like a depressing Stanley Parable in the form of like a visual novel. Kinda. Which is the Stanley Parable, one of my favorite games of all time, for sure. This was cool though. Like, I mean, decent enough writing, and like you never know which way these decisions were gonna take you. So it was like it's kind of random. Really, there's no way to tell really which decision was going to be a good one. But I mean, I think the idea was just to play all the decisions anyway, ultimately. So, yeah, just a cool little branching path story there. Nothing too crazy, but pretty fun. I wish there was a little bit more lore on like who this lady was, or like a little bit more to the whole story around it. Maybe there is. I'll have to like research after this playthrough and see like maybe there's more to this story. But I mean, it seems like I saw everything there was to see in the game, so it seems like you just don't get answers to a lot of those questions, right? Like, who is this lady? Why is she there? Who's the twin of this lady? Like what is the deal? It would have been nice for there to be a little bit more lore, backstory around that. Like they almost got into that with like the car turning up in the one ending in Nevada or whatever. But you know, it would have been nice to like delve into that a little bit more. But yeah, really enjoyed this one. Nice, short, sweet game. Cool sound effects. I mean, the music for the mushroom ending was like the best music. But otherwise, the sound effects, I guess, and the music kind of did their job to like establish the atmosphere pretty good. You know, no complaints really. Really enjoyed this one. Good stuff. Firefighter ending is the good ending, I guess. Right? Like best ending by far, I think. Like he gets his house back and she goes to the mental institution. Like, heck yeah. But yeah, I would have liked maybe a couple more endings that actually delve into like the backstory of her or something. And maybe there are, and maybe I just missed them or something somehow. But probably not. But yeah, good little game. Definitely fun.